Very proud tonight to tell you a little bit about my sometime producing partner, a Producers Guild colleague, an Academy governor, and most importantly, a friend, Gale Anne Hurd. Yes, Gale is an A-list producer, and there aren't a lot of women who are the A-list producers. Let me tell you how she got her start. Her first job was as a PA on a Roger Corman film, and her duties included emptying out the chemical toilets in the cast motorhomes. Yeah. That's how we start. From there, it has been all uphill. Why? Because Gale is a producer. And like Sisyphus, she has to constantly push her projects up that hill. Some people actually think they know what a producer does. Let me tell you the main thing we do: persevere. You think hitting your head against a brick wall 100 times is enough to make you want to find a different line of work? Then don't try to produce. If you hit your head 1,000 times on that brick wall, maybe one of those you'll break through and a studio or financer will actually want to develop your idea. Then you keep hitting your head during development until one day somebody actually gives you a green light. That's when the real fun begins. It's easy from then on, right? Sure. Try juggling the personalities and egos of actors, directors, writers, cinematographers, studio executives, studio heads, distribution and marketing executives. You have to keep your project on schedule, on budget, and most importantly, keep your vision along with the vision of the director and the studio all in the same line so that you make the movie that you all wanted to make during pre-production, production, and post. If you can do that once in your life, you're a producer. Gale has done it time and time and time again, better than just about anybody in our business. Gale produced and co-wrote Hello, Terminator. You want to talk about seminal movies? Where'd she go? She left me. Aliens, The Abyss, Terminator 2. These are seminal movies. And Gale is not someone who just packages and moves on. She is there day in and day out. These days she's on the set at 5 a.m. or at 5 a.m. to start a day, 5 a.m. to close a day, in 95-degree heat, in 90% humidity, in Atlanta, on her newest and most successful television show in their third season, The Walking Dead. How do I know that she's on the set? Well, because I've called her, because we have a film together. And I say, hey, Gale, how's it going? She, well, I have 101 temperature. It's 90 degrees outside, and it's really hot on the set, but we're doing great. So, wait a minute. All right, yeah, now move that over there. Move that. Yeah. So you know, she's there. She is doing it. She is producing. Do you think that takes up all her time? Mm-mm. Along with doing all of this, she has raised a beautiful daughter, Lolita, who's currently attending Princeton and is an aspiring writer. She owns the Vertical Wine Bistro in Pasadena. Yeah, that's a place you might want to go, and maybe you'll run into her. She's on the board of governors of the Motion Picture Academy and a board member and recording secretary of the Producers Guild. She's also a huge Arsenal Football Club fan, and she's been riding and racing horses most of her life. She is not one of the Walking Dead, that's for sure. Let's take a look at some of the things Gale's done. Saying producer and Gale Anne Hurd is redundant. She is the ultimate. Come on up, Gale, and accept your 2012 Vision Award.
Okay. It's also interesting being here tonight because Friday night I was actually at the Producers Guild membership meeting, and one of your own, who's pitching here tonight, Glenn Lund, was the runner-up for the Deborah Hill Fellowship Award. And so delighted to see you here tonight.
It was Gale's idea to have a Produced By conference, and after 4 years, it's been successful every year. Thank you, Gale.
So thank you so much to two of my favorite people, my mentor going back to Roger Corman days, Barbara Boyle, and my PGA colleague and producing partner on the upcoming Very Good Girls, Koch, for presenting me with tonight's Vision Award. And to all of you, I'm delighted to have been chosen to share this evening with you as you are ready to embark on your producing careers. I attended an unaccredited graduate school program, the Roger Corman School of Filmmaking. But with Roger and Barbara as my mentors, I had a fantastic education too. So hands up, since Hawk brought this up earlier, how many of you have had to empty chemical toilets in cast trailers as part of your training here at UCLA? Terry has, okay, yes. No one? Well, then you... We've got so many things in common, Hawk. Well, then you've already had it much easier than I did. So I'll just give you a few moments of advice as you launch your own producing careers. First, take advantage of the many resources, skills, and contacts you've made here during your college years. More than likely, the connections you've made right here will serve you extremely well as you take the plunge into producing. While working for Roger Corman, I met someone I thought was incredibly talented. He was building spaceship miniatures, one with breasts, I might add, but that's a story for another evening after we've all had a few drinks. And I was the assistant production manager on the same film, Battle Beyond the Stars. Screenplay by someone you might have heard of, John Sayles. Score by another person you might have heard of, James Horner. We made a promise to each other in the middle of the night while painting spaceships, Malmori green. And by the way, you think, okay, you're an assistant production manager. You shouldn't have to be painting sets. Yes, it wasn't a student film. And as an assistant production manager, at 4 a.m, I was still painting sets. But anyway, we made a promise to each other. I would learn the ropes of producing, and he would do the same as a director. But more on that a little later. So when you can, as Hawk admonished you, please join the PGA. It's the best thing that you can do to expand your network of contacts and to learn something that you might have missed out on in college. Third, don't think you're too good now that you've got that fancy glittering Master of Fine Arts degree to start over at the bottom of the food chain if you need to. I'd graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Stanford. I'd run the marketing department at New World Pictures, where we released Francois Truffaut films and Akira Kurosawa films, in addition to films like Humanoids from the Deep. Tagline, they hunt human women not for killing but for mating. So when I got my first job on set, yes, I was making coffee. I was emptying those chemical toilets, but I was only a PA once. 3 films later, I was the line producer. All that time, I was co-writing screenplays and helping friends with their films. And that spaceship builder, I know you've already guessed this, he was doing the same thing, taking jobs in the art department, moving up to art director, illustrating key art campaigns, ad campaigns, working as a visual effects technician and then a supervisor directing second unit until, well, you name it. If the job was offered, he took it. And of course, it may seem like Jim Cameron and I had an overnight success with our first film, The Terminator. The truth is, we'd worked our asses off. We'd learned the hard way. We'd earned it. When we actually got that opportunity, we knew what we were doing. And we got to do it again. And those of you may not have seen on Jim's resume his first film, which, how many of you know what Jim Cameron's first film was? Okay, tell me. Yes, Piranha 2: The Spawning, about saltwater piranha that fly. Okay, there's nothing you've heard here tonight including horse sperm in an ice cream truck, that's more far-fetched than saltwater piranha that fly. But the person I really want to thank is the woman who made the Terminator a reality, your very own Barbara Boyle. She was the first person to read the screenplay. She was the first person to love it and to tell us we could get this movie made, that we had to believe after the 100 doors had been slammed in our faces and everyone had turned us down. And she kept pushing and pushing at Orion until they said yes. So thank you to Barbara Boyle, and you are all very, very lucky to have her as a mentor, as I did so many years ago. Thank you.